So the long-awaited release of court documents related to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and his longtime business partner and girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, is finally over. After 41 court filings were unsealed, it unraveled a long list of names of well-known people, some with a connection to the disgraced financier. Those names actually included Michael Jackson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Stephen Hawking, Naomi Campbell. The documents also reveal new details about an old groping accusation against Prince Andrew, and also an effort to depose former President Bill Clinton. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky, has been digging through all the documents and looking at all the names mentioned. Also, our legal contributor and trial attorney, Brian Buckmire, joins us once again to sort of decipher all of this. So, Aaron, we've been talking all day about the names of those listed in the documents, but there's 16 individuals who actually challenged the court to have their names redacted, right? What more can you tell us about that?
Some of them were minors when they were victimized by Jeffrey Epstein and allegedly by Ghislaine Maxwell, and the judge agreed that those names do not need to be released publicly because they've never gone public about the accusations and they've tried to protect their anonymity. There are others who are still petitioning the court, including one identified as Jane Doe number 107, who says the country that she lives in would make it dangerous for her if her name were to be publicly associated with somebody like Jeffrey Epstein. So the judge is considering her objection to being outed in these documents. But by and large, Kira, many of these names have been out there before, maybe not in such a public way, but they've been out there in court filings previously and were subsequently redacted. Now that it's all sort of coming out, the judge has said that there's nothing lurid here. There is no accusation of wrongdoing by and large in these documents, and so there was no reason, she said, to keep them sealed any longer.
So, Brian, are you surprised that such a small number of people actually fought to have their names redacted?
Yes and no, and the reason why I say yes is because I would have thought that these documents might have had more potential Jane Does, and I understand why Jane Does are coming forward, as Aaron outlined, to say, hey, I don't want my name out there. I don't want to be associated with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm a victim here, and so don't bring up my name. But in terms of the no, when we look at the vast majority of the names here, like Aaron said, there's nothing really there. And so what if an attorney asked if, hey, did you see this person when you went to Jeffrey Epstein's island, and there's no criminal or civil liability from saying, yes, I saw that person? I don't see a legal reason to say no, and I don't see a reason why, even in the court of public opinion, you would say, hey, I don't want people to know that I was asked about, even though I didn't do anything wrong. There being no legal basis to keep their name out, I see no reason why they would fight it.
And so, Aaron, there's still more documents to be released. What do you think we can expect from those?
We expect another tranche as soon as this afternoon, and maybe more tonight or the next day. There are about 275 documents all told, so hundreds and hundreds of pages total. And we're not sure what additional names there might be, but again, there are no accusations that these people did anything wrong. They were perhaps just asked about in a deposition or were mentioned as a potential witness, as someone that had some kind of an association with Epstein, that might know something about his sex trafficking. Because in the end, Kira, that's what the lawyers were hoping to do, was to expose Epstein's vast global sex trafficking network and have the public sort of question how he was able to get away with it for so long. And part of the reason that the lawyers believe he was able to get away with it is because he had this network of influential friends. Big banks were funding it, and they've won a settlement from big banks. So the accountability has started, and they believe that the unsealing of all these documents is only going to further the justice that they say the victims deserve.
And I'm curious, Brian, for you, I mean, what questions do you still have surrounding these documents and also the names that have been mentioned?
I mean, the major question I have is, who's next? I mean, last night we saw a number of these documents released, I think around 6:30. And so I think for the most part, we're all kind of looking around the same time today to say, are we going to get a similar situation as we did yesterday? And in terms of the names, who's going to be named? What association did they have? Or was their name simply brought up because this was an investigatory kind of questioning of who was there and who knew what? Or is it going to be, was this person doing this or this person doing that? But I think for the most part, we can assume that if there was any kind of criminal or civil impropriety, that law enforcement would have had the opportunity to subpoena those documents, and we would have seen cases come forward. But I know some people are saying, like, hey, like, what about Prince Andrew? Why aren't we looking more into that? And so I'm kind of curious about those things.
Aaron, Brian, thanks so much. Stay tuned for the next stack of documents there.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.